These very apocalyptic images that we have are indeed very frightening, and we wonder how appropriate they are as we begin a new church year. But in fact, don't they really speak to some of the fears and anxieties that we have in life, where we see at times people having all sorts of cataclysmic predictions about the world, but also we do see waves in the sea abounding as the climate changes and fires raging. We also see deep divisions in society today with toxic language in which we find ourselves so divided. Yes, maybe these words are appropriate to describe many times the experiences that we have in life, where our world seems to be coming apart and things are ending as if things now are changed forever. But at the same time, we hear the voice of the prophet Jeremiah, who tells us that while things may be changing and even a world ending, it is because God is fulfilling his promise. This is a time of fulfillment, a time in which God is doing something absolutely new. The gospel picks that theme up as we see that amidst all the turmoil and the tribulation that is predicted in the world, it is a moment in which the Son of Man comes with power and glory to bring about the fulfillment. The message is clear. Amid all the worries that we have and the things that go wrong in the world, we are to keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, who comes into our life. And that means, first of all, putting aside all of those temptations to give in to despair, all of the toxic language that is filled at times with sarcasm, ways in which we divide each other from one another in our family. It means also having a sense of hope about the future rather than one that's filled with cynicism or ways in which we find that we are so divided that we're paralyzed to do anything politically or socially. No, this is a moment for Christians to stand tall, as we hear in the gospel, to take seriously the fact that we should be a force in the world to bring about hope amidst the trials that we face each and every day. And that begins in our own families, for so often we find ourselves divided, unable to talk to each other because we come at life in different ways with different political views. But that's not the way for the disciples of Jesus. I saw a cartoon in the paper the other day in which a woman was on the telephone calling family members, and she said that she was putting together her guest list for Thanksgiving, but she wanted to know who they voted for. That, I think, is something that too often is a reality in our world today, where families can't even sit around their own Thanksgiving Day table because of different political views. They have grown so toxic in giving over to the kind of language that divides us. That is not the way of a Christian. That is not the way of a disciple of Jesus. And so let us listen once again to those words of St. Paul to the Thessalonians. He tells us, May the Lord make you increase and abound in love for one another and for all, so that you may strengthen each other's hearts to be blameless in holiness before God at the coming of Christ. That's the message that we receive at the beginning of this new church year. Not allowing ourselves to be intoxicated by the way the world addresses crisis with fear, trepidation, anger, and division, but as people who stand tall, who keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, and in the middle of the turmoil that we face, to see that the Son of Man is coming into our lives in a new way, because God indeed always keeps his promises.